Liverpool. It's Andy Robertson! How about that for a breakaway? A save at one end, leading to a goal at the other. And a goal of note for a real servant of this club. Credit to the scorer and the saver. Freddie Woodman playing his part on his full Premier League debut. Counter-attacking football.
Welcome to Redheads, your Liverpool Football Club podcast based on the West Coast.
That's right, number one.
I am your co-host, Ian Locke, joined as always by James Morris. James, how are you?
Ian, I'm so glad you asked. I'm feeling so much better now on a Tuesday night that we get to see each other and talk Liverpool. Liverpool in the back of three straight wins. That's more like it. That's more like it.
These are much more fun, and I look forward to them when we win. So it's just crazy. They say, sports isn't everything, winning isn't everything. In this context, I very much disagree. I think winning is everything.
Winning is everything for me right now, absolutely. And we got one more little preview for this coming weekend. One more win would really do me a solid.
Ooh, baby.
As we pack the bags, throw them in the back of the van, and drive to Old Trafford down the M5, I'm going to say. I think it's called the M5.
M16? What is that?
MI6.
MI6. James Bond. But James, great weekend. We beat Crystal Palace, kind of our bogey team these last few years. We beat them 3-1 at Anfield. This moves us into fourth place. It's pretty crazy. Like a month ago, we were thinking this was not possible. Europe is just in the it's in the rearview mirror. We can't even think about it, but we might have cemented our place, fingers crossed, in a Champions League spot.
Yeah, 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 wins make a right turn straight back to Europe. It's no longer in the rearview mirror. That's just a little something I was cooking up in the pre-pod warm-up days.
I don't think they have. I think they just have roundabouts. So I don't even think it's...
Well, it's more efficient for traffic, right? So,
right.
Basically we took the third right out of the roundabout.
Third Reich.
I mean, okay, well, not that one. Second Reich maybe at best, but
right.
Left. Anyway, you're saying a month ago, it really felt like I was getting nervous that this just wasn't going to happen. That, like you said, Europe was out the back window. Man United had picked up form.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea, it seemed to had righted the ship. They've so not righted the ship since that. They're just there. They're not going to make the Conference League.
They became the disaster club to replace us, which was very nice of them.
They inherited the mantle, which is really, like you said, really pleasant of them. I mean, right now our closest top 5 rival is Brighton, 8 points.
I know.
Doesn't bother me one bit.
Those seagulls, don't let them poop on you.
You mess with the bird.
It is good luck.
Is it? I have not heard that.
I remember hearing that. Anyway.
Hey, have you been pooped on?
James, I have terrible luck, so obviously not. But I mean,
it's a funny way to put it. You're right.
The context of this weekend, Villa do us a huge favor by losing to Fulham. So that kind of gives us that fourth place advantage, jumping over them on goal difference. We have a +8 goal difference, I think, on them. Sadly, United won, I believe it was yesterday. So they're kind of, they have a grip hold on third.
Hey, well, they've got an iron grip hold, but it's only 3 points. It's only 3 points.
That's true, and we do play them this weekend, which we will talk about. But I guess to set the scenes, James, I don't know how much you want to get into this because, truly it doesn't affect either of us, but the ongoing protests are continuing. This is the third one, I believe, in terms of the ticket increase prices for home games at Anfield. Once again, there were no flags on the Kop. They're doing this whole no pound in the ground campaign to state their purpose of why they're doing this. They held up these cars at the 13th minute, basically stating that do not do this. Why are you doing this? makes sense. I don't know. I thought it was very cool. I love an organized protest like this. I like to see the fans coming together. I think they did this. They did this a few years back. Again, once in protest of ticket increases, which I think did help, or at least it did because they didn't end up doing that.
Yeah, do you mean the walkout at Sunderland?
I think so. That's what I
at
mean.
home to Sunderland. Yeah. That was, they were raising the prices then to £77.
Right.
So we walked out. And I used the royal we in this sense. I didn't walk out personally, but I turned the match off. They walked out in the 77th minute, and then they ended up freezing ticket prices for however many years ago that was until now. That was 2017, maybe 2016.
Right.
It was effective, and I agree. I'm with you on. Sorry, quickly. You said it doesn't affect us, and ultimately that's right because we're not buying tickets. But there's a camaraderie that I feel towards the average Anfield going fan, and stick it to the billionaires. Always stick it to the billionaires.
Absolutely, I'm totally in agreement with that. So basically, it's a increase. I think is it 25 cents over the next few years? Basically, what this does is it makes the club, the owners.
Do you mean 25%? I think it's more than a quarter.
I don't know. Anyway, but basically what this does is it pockets the club $1.2 million or pounds rather each season, which for a club of that size, it really is just pocket change. So it is very confusing as to why they're doing this.
It's just not where the money's coming from for Liverpool these days.
Right, exactly. Especially
it's number 11 on the revenue generation streams.
Yeah, and this is the amount that they would get from these ticket prices is equivalent to a win in the Champions League. So you just need to get a win, and you basically cover whatever cost that you would want from these increases, which is interesting. But so very annoying. While they were doing this on the 13th minute, it did pan over to Billy Hogan, who is, I always forget what his role is, but he was kind of smirking. It was not a good look on his part. Also,
not well timed.
Also, very annoying that he's American too, because it just the whole built by Shanks. What is it ruined by Yanks or whatever? Exploited by Yanks,
and
rather.
While he sort of smirks greedily,
right.
Scrooge McDuck style. It was not, and being charitable, which is something that he's not being. It's possible that his friend just said something funny, whoever's sitting next to him, and that was bad timing, but
horrible timing.
Have a little decorum, have a little tact.
Right, read the room. Yeah, I mean, the room is literally in front of you.
The room is holding a card up for you to read everywhere you look.
But yeah, so that was interesting. But let's get into the game anyway, James. So big news, Woodman starts. Freddie Woodman, the third choice goalkeeper, is getting his first start in this game due to the injuries of Allison and Mamardashvili. Another big thing was Jones getting another start at right back, which we could talk about, which I thought he had another decent performance with a possible start at United. I would not sniff at that at all.
I wouldn't sniff.
And then you had a pairing of Konate, Van Dijk. Robertson gets another start too, which I found interesting, and ahead of Kirkez.
I was a little surprised by the Robertson shout, honestly.
Absolutely. And it kind of does start to feel almost like a
farewell tour.
Exactly.
Yep.
Then you have McAllister, who replaces Gravenberch in this game. Shabazz, Salah, Wirtz, Gakpo, then Isak gets another start.
Good team.
I would say, given Freddie Woodman's performance at the very end of the Everton game, I wasn't exactly I wasn't nervous about him. I thought she showed, he was a starter for Preston North End previous, so it's not like he's no schmuck, I should say. And also Crystal Palace was I think he played for them in their youth team growing up, so I thought that was kind of nice and romantic as well.
Reunion tour, there you go.
But as I said before, so Crystal Palace, our bogey team, they've already beaten us 3 times, James. They beat us in the Community Shield, they beat us in that Carabao Cup, and they beat us in the reverse fixture, it should have been 7-0 at halftime. It was just
they
awful
absolutely spanked us in that game.
So they have a pretty good record. But what do you think about I think if you watch the highlights back, I think we have two pretty good chances within the first 6 minutes, and it's kind of back and forth a little bit. I think we still have the same problems in that we just kind of have a lack of control in the midfield, at least, where you just feel like the opposition team can go from defense, midfield to attacker pretty quickly without any interruption by Liverpool.
Yeah, it's the same story that we've been telling all season, which is still frustrating and which is still inauspicious, I would say, when it comes to the summer and the potential of changing managers, keeping managers. It's just so poor out of possession. But yeah, we do this sort of awkward half press. The keeper makes an easy pass to the fullback. The fullback makes an easy pass into midfield. And now it's the 4-on-4. That's just like what happens. And I don't understand why the gaps are so big between ourselves.
It's a little confusing. I think McAllister, who kind of, if you watch the game back, you can see that he was the deepest lying midfielder for a majority of that game. And he can put a shift in on the defensive end. I thought he actually had a pretty good game in that respect. But you can just see the glaring lack of a defensive midfielder whose position is mainly to defend, to break up those passes, to intercept passes.
We don't even have that player in our team, frankly.
Exactly. Yeah. That was supposed to be Gravenberch, and he kind of did a semi-good job last season, but that's kind of, halted. But I would say the first real chance comes in the 12th minute to Crystal Palace. And this is what I'm talking about, where we have a player, Adam Wharton, who I think is someone who's on Liverpool's radar, Crystal Palace player, puts an excellent cross in to Richards. He's in the mid. He's basically on the right-hand side, no press. He's able to put a cross in. Richards manages to get a head on it. It should have been a goal because
it was a pretty good chance, frankly.
Freddie Woodman comes out, kind of flaps at it. In that moment, I was like, we might be in trouble here. It was
Could be a long day.
It was very not what you want from your starting keeper, to kind of be unsure of kind of his surroundings, to miss the ball entirely, and thank God that chance went over.
Thank God the chance went over. Yeah, I thought he could have done a lot better with the chance. Chris Richards, he is big Yank fan, number one American player.
That's right.
On Crystal Palace.
Biggest afro.
Well, yeah, that's right too. So we're a fan, but on Sunday, or it's on Saturday, certainly not a fan. Relieved as it went over, but my main takeaway was sort of the same as yours. Like, are we in for a long day with our third choice keeper?
Yeah, but I mean, we'll get to it later. He showed his true colors, and he got his name sung multiple times. So there was a penalty shout on the 25th minute, James. And so Salah goes in, bursts through on goal, goes down under a Brendan Johnson challenge of all people. The referee points back. Exactly. That's what you want. The referee points the spot immediately. I don't know. In the moment, it looked extremely light. And then when you see the replay back, Brendan Johnson gets the ball first, obviously. Yeah. And it was very much Salah's like, I'm going to go down just to see if something happens. I'm going to try to cook up something. And,
He damn near did. Yeah. I thought it was soft in real time, like you're saying. On the replay, it was just clearly not it wasn't a foul. But it was the first of a few, pretty potent counterattacks that we had on the afternoon. And we just haven't had that this season. So seeing those against Palace, just the fact that we, can possibly counter. Wirtz was at the center of this one. He was at the center of the one. Well, I mean, Jones plays the final pass, but it's Wirtz's, sort of great first pass that opens it up. Point being, it's so refreshing to see us counter, even if the pace isn't quite there. Yeah. I was a little frustrated with Mo because I thought that it was basically 3-on-1, frankly. And so if Mo had left it for, I think Isak was making a run, or maybe it was Gakpo who was just behind him, he could have let the ball run to him, made a run to himself wide, and then it basically 2-on-1. But you can't really blame Mo in that situation. He's going to try to score, and he damn near did.
Yeah. I mean, I thought he had a somewhat decent game before he got subbed off due to injury, but it was him versus, I think his name is Canvo.
Canvo, yeah.
Canvo. I know Canva.
I don't know what that reference is.
Okay. It's a app for teachers. Anyway, so
Canva.
Canva, yes.
Yeah.
It's and there's a few moments where if this was Mo from 5 years ago, he beats his man, but he has the athleticism. He just does not have the pace to beat his opposition player. So there's a few moments where, like, he's so close, James. He's so close to beating his man. He just can't do it. But
he had a pretty good battle with Canvo for the hour that he was on the pitch. He got the better of him once or twice. Canvo the same. I thought that I agree that it was a pretty decent 6, 7 out of 10. Frankly, and maybe we'll call onto this later, if Mo would stay and be, second fiddle to whoever the new right winger is, I think that he would be like, Mo is a perfectly good top half of the Premier League right winger. He's not himself,
right,
of yesteryear, but he's still useful to a team. And, he's frankly our best attacker right now until Isak hits fitness anyway.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think he would also do very well with as the other player in a 2-man forward line too. Like, if it was him and an Isak, I think that would work really well, especially like he doesn't need the pace. He just needs to hang around the box, and he could be pretty lethal from that perspective.
Yeah, that last goal he just scored against who did we play against before Everton? Did he score against Fulham?
In the 40th minute.
Yeah. So that was, I think, playing into 2. Sorry, point being, I agree. And I thought that he'd play well. And when it comes to this chance, he's still got a bit of pace about himself. He's not beating his man, but he can run.
Yeah, but let's talk about an actual goal, James.
Let's talk about it.
Isak, baby, his first goal at Anfield. I'm loving it. This is it.
Are you McDonald's?
Like old McDonald's?
Because I'm loving it.
There you go.
Yeah, and this move actually starts with Mo. He plays a cross to Wirtz, to Isak, and it's it's an okay cross, but it gets cut out. And then it just sort of flies out to McAllister, who takes a blindfolded. It's 25-yard, hoping for a screamer. He was a dreamer, but yeah, the touch that Isak takes with his left is pretty beautiful. Sort of sets himself up for the half volley. Kind of scuffs the volley, frankly. Go ahead.
He strikes the ball into the ground, and it basically elevates past Dean Henderson. I mean, like, it's really the touch that is like the most important thing, because
on the shot, right?
He has exactly, and it's such a light touch. He's able to place it in front of him to take that strike, and I think like that was, because you could see him running on like from a through ball, and he doesn't actually quite make it. Like, I feel like that touch is like a signifier of like he's like nearing full fitness, if you know what I mean. Like, it's
that's as comfortable as he's really looked in the box, I would say.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so, that's that poacher money. You spend that money, you get those goals.
Exactly.
You get what you pay for.
It's obviously it's different from the West Ham goal where he just takes it and it's like the slimmest of margins where he just puts it right on the inside of that left-hand post. But it's just like another indicator of like, why you spend the money on, one of the best strikers in the Premier League, because they're able to do these types of things.
He's
but
lethal.
Awesome. He's lethal. Again, it's very sad. It's only his 3rd goal. It's his first goal at Anfield, which is really important. And you could see the importance of all the players too, because they swarm him, and it's a huge deal. And it's, we only have 4 games left.
We got 4 left.
4 left. He's going to start every game.
Yeah.
So I think this was, again, extremely important, especially for his. I mean, he's going to go into the summer, going to the World Cup. He needs as much confidence as he can get, and obviously this will help immensely.
Yeah, like you said, he's got 3 goals so far this season: West Ham, Spurs, and now Palace. Let's make it 5, but before that final whistle.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't mind if he scores against United, and then maybe he'll chalk one off against Brentford in the final day. That'll do me just fine.
Right. But if we're going to be talking about like dream goal scorers, Isak is up there. I'd argue Robertson is also up there. We were talking about his farewell tour.
That's right.
And I couldn't tell if this was Robertson or Torres or Jota. Just the way he finished this chance, it was pretty impeccable, because we've also are used to him putting that into, over everyone's head into the crowd.
Yeah. He's been known to sky it now and then. You wouldn't be shocked if that was actually out for a throw instead of even a goal kick. But no, the finish was immaculate. It really didn't look like Robertson at any point during his career with Liverpool. Even at his peak, he wasn't scoring goals like this. I'm not sure where he pulled this, what drawer this came out of. Well, certainly one from the top. But again, I want to say this was a counterattack.
I mean, this is from an old playbook from 17-18. It was beautiful.
Yeah, that's right. This is vintage Klopp, brought to you by current Slot. Slot.
I'd say brought to you by Freddie Woodman.
That's right. I mean, I'm glad you called him out because the save he makes it from LaCroix, is it Mateta?
Yeah, I think so.
It doesn't matter who it was because he should have done a little Babetta on the shot. What a save! It's 6 yards out. He gets down so quickly, and he parries it directly to Konate, which is what kicks the entire move off.
I mean, that is the most important thing too, is that he's able to direct it towards a player, a teammate, basically. And I think this buildup is really good because, like you said, Woodman is able to give it to Konate, who then feeds, I believe it's Wirtz, who takes it down, and he's able to turn and find the pass of the move. Really is that pass to Jones.
Agreed.
Where he passes to Jones up the field. Jones then is able to cut inside to Robertson, who then finishes the move. But it was very it felt simple, but everything. I feel like this season we have a very hard time. One of those passes gets cut out, basically. One of them would.
For 100%. Or, earlier in the season, Wirtz just doesn't make that turn quite as confidently.
Doesn't make the turn, or the pass is hit behind the player, so they have to backtrack to get it. There's always something that's 10% off to where it just doesn't come off. But this was everything happened perfectly. And again, I mean, credit to Robertson for being able to put that in the corner, because that's extremely hard to do.
Yeah, and just what a joy to see him do it. And he also, he ran over to the fans. I think his family was there in that corner, and he really gives it one. And we give it right back. If that might be his last Liverpool goal, and if it is, it's probably also his best. I mean, it was beautiful.
Yeah,
and go ahead.
It has to. And no, I was just gonna say, I agree. It has to probably be his last goal for this, unless he takes a penalty.
You never know. One point. You never know. He might score against United this weekend. But
I would love that.
I think, Wirtz, since coming back from injury, which is already about 2 months ago, he's been, sort of here and there, but I thought that this game especially, he was really re-announcing himself, the way that he's played these passes.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing for me, is where sometimes it just doesn't feel like he's involving himself that much. And I felt like with this game, not only was involved, I felt like he was doing the right decision. And obviously, who am I to say what the right decision is in terms of which pass to pick or things like that? But it just felt like he was a little bit more keyed in on the situation and the players around him. But yeah, I mean, he scored a goal this game, which we'll talk about later. But I thought he definitely showed, his true worth.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. It was another joy to watch. And, in a season where we've been a little bit devoid of joy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bring it. Keep bringing it. Speaking of being devoid of joy, maybe I'm getting ahead of you, but
please.
You want to talk about something that happened in about the 57th minute, I think?
I mean, this is extremely devastating, James, because so Salah pulls up, looks like a hamstring injury, and that could potentially be it for him.
That could be it.
There have 4 games out, or 4 games left. I think I was reading, I think it's he's associated with the Egyptian national team. But
sure,
I think he's the director.
Egyptian.
Anyway, but he basically stated that he suffered a hamstring tear, 4 weeks of treatment. That's pretty much it.
I haven't heard anything about whether or not he's going to play.
Yeah, this was reported from, his name's Ibrahim Hassan. So he's the Egyptian national team director. So I don't know what that means. Who knows? Maybe they'll just give him So it seems that this is it, which is just really sad. And you could tell that at the end, because at first he grabs it and it doesn't seem like a big deal. There's no tears being shed things like that.
Right,
But
he tries to carry on.
When he walks off the pitch, he's like basically acknowledging like every side of the stadium.
Yeah, he claps all 4 sides and,
so
takes his time.
That could be an indicator that he is also aware of the severity of this, but we won't know. But it doesn't seem to be a good thing for sure.
No, and that would be just such a brutal way for things to end. But hey, fingers crossed he'll come out. I mean, personally, if everything is tied up by match week 38, put him in goal. Just get him out there. Who cares?
Get him on Brentford. Get him for Brentford at home. Give him like 3 minutes. It's just a bummer because the run in right now is we have United away, Chelsea at home, Aston Villa away. These are like the 3 probably our most important games of the season.
Truly.
And we could have used him.
He's also just been so phenomenal against United for a decade, and so
exactly.
the fact that he's going to miss that last game, it really is
top
crushing.
Off moment. You want the top off moment.
Top me off mode.
But it's not going to happen. And so if that was potentially his last performance or his last game for Liverpool, 3rd highest goal scorer of all time. He only has 12 goals and 9 assists in all competitions this season, which is not amazing, but he's once again in double digits, which is just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's not good by his standards, but that's still, 21 goal involvements. It's still deep. Like I said, he's still a top half Premier League winger even these days.
I believe he has more goals and assists, and he's missed. I don't remember how many games, but he has more goals and assists than Bukayo Saka, who's like supposedly the 2nd best winger.
Well, he's also missed a ton of time, but
that's true.
Shit on him all you want. You won't hear any complaints from me.
But yeah, I think. And then in addition to that, 257 goals total, 439 appearances, 9 years of the club.
Nothing to sniff at.
Nothing to sniff at. But here's something to sniff at, James. To get one back. Those dastardly Eagles, James.
I've been looking forward to talking about this because I'm not even sure exactly where I fall on it.
Okay, I don't either. So, folks, for people that don't know, 72nd minute, I would say like going into halftime, James, before we get to this goal, we have the majority of possession, but I would say that Palace, and you could see by the shots on target, or shots total, that Crystal Palace had the majority of chances. So I think their expected goals was like 1.3, ours was maybe like 1 point something. But obviously they had the better, going off the statistics, they had a better, chances going into the second half. And I think that kind of stayed the same in the second half.
Like I don't think we were creating much, and they were, continuing to create decent chances, and Freddie Woodman was just standing up to it.
Yeah, absolutely. But in the 72nd minute, rather, Woodman goes to basically, I think he denies Sarr, who
it was a good save.
Yeah, a pretty nice threaded goal or threaded through ball to Sarr. Woodman saves it, but in the process, like after he saves it, his boot gets stuck in the turf or in the grass, and he basically like jams his knee.
Yeah, gives his knee a wiggle.
So he's hollering. He's like trying to get the attention of the ref, and then
he stands up a couple times too.
He tries to stand up a couple times. The game like stops. The ball falls to Munoz, their right back, and then no one, like everyone's kind of looking around, and then Munoz just takes a shot and he scores.
Well, takes a shot on an open goal.
Open goal. No one's in, like not even Kanate or Virgil go onto the line. But basically, the whole play stops without the whistle being blown, right? So, this is obviously fair in the regards to the rules of the game, but
right by the letter of the law,
one could say unsportsmanlike.
I wouldn't say unsportsmanlike.
So
go ahead.
No, please ask your question.
Well, no, I think there are 3 faults here, right? And they're to varying degrees. One, Munoz. Probably you're fine. One is fine with him taking that shot. It's not his job to stop play, but
absolutely.
To celebrate afterwards is wild.
So the celebration is what gets me, because you could just take the shot and then because you see this all the time, that a player will shoot and then they're called offsides. Like, okay, whatever. He could have taken the shot, scored, and be like, I didn't know what we're supposed to do in that moment.
It's with God now.
But instead, it's kind of like, I always forget his name, but there was a player for Aston Villa who, it was during the Club World Cup when we played basically our youth team, and he scored like 3 goals, and he celebrated like very enthusiastically against children. Is like, what are you doing?
And truly children, like 17-year-olds. Yeah.
But yeah, Munoz does he does like the big ups, and he's pumped. But I'm like, there was no one in the goal, and obviously, like, yes, like you said, take the shot. Like, who knows what's going to happen? But yeah, he got booed pretty
rightly.
Yeah. And
but let's not, before we move on. Yeah, let's not let the Red Boys off the hook. It's ridiculous to stop just assuming the whistle's going to get blown. Like you said, Konate could go on the line. I think Szoboszlai and maybe Robbo are relatively
Robertson's
close.
Right there. He's the one that's the closest to him.
There
he doesn't do anything.
He should just close him down. I don't know if that would have been enough to stop the shot from getting in, but you play to the whistle. I mean, look, this is 7-year-old stuff. Play to the whistle. And then, probably going to be number 1 is, I think it was Andy Madley was the referee.
Yeah, that's right.
So multiple times the game stops for quote unquote injuries, but the one that sticks out to
Johnson
me, that's what I was going to say. The one that sticks out to me the most is Brennan Johnson takes a shot, flails flaccidly at it that he falls onto his own shoulder, untouched by anyone. He just shoots and falls on his shoulder. And then we're going to counter, and the game stops because Brennan Johnson's holding his shoulder.
Yeah, that was crazy. Oh yeah, the Gakpo chance where he's awful.
Yeah. And so, there's precedent set in this game and in every game you've ever seen where if the goalie goes down, they just blow the whistle. So like, what are you doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, there's a precedent already established where he's going to blow the whistle when a player goes down. And it's literally the goalkeeper, usually the player that's most protected on the pitch, like they could get touched on the shoulder and they will blow the whistle. So it's just very annoying. I mean, like, I don't know if you saw this, but Glasner, the Crystal Palace manager, said if Woodman went down and then got subbed off, they would allow us to score.
Hey, easy to say afterwards.
Easy to say. Those are just words, my friend.
Easy to say. But so this is the final wrinkle that I think is pretty interesting in this whole affair. Woodman, 30 seconds later, he gets treatment. He's fine. He's totally fine. In fact, he takes like a 70-yard goal kick with that leg. So that adds a little pepper to this weird stew that we've been brewing. I'm not sure. I don't know what to make of it.
I'm sure it hurt immensely. Like he jammed his knee. Like you could see it in the replay. So I'm assuming like yes, that must have hurt pretty badly. But the more we talk about it, the more I'm just like, just close him down. Just like someone cannot take out on the line. It's an open goal. What are you doing? But thankfully that did not come back to haunt us, because at 2-1 in the 70th minute, James, we're not really known for our fortitude, especially our mental fortitude.
Not a ton of resilience.
Because I think this would have counted outside, but a few minutes. Actually, I don't remember when this happened, but
the Strand Larson situation. One of my favorite Bourne Identity movies,
where he threw on goal, and by the grace of these two posts, so his shot hits the inside the left post, goes onto the right, and then stays out. Like that should have been an equalizer.
Dribbles all the way across goal, and also just like time stopped, a glacial pace.
Absolutely, and like hand in mouth, did not know what was going to happen, and then Van Dijk basically just touches it out for a quarter.
That was odd. I didn't understand what was happening.
Again, I think this is because he thought it was going to be called offside. Because if you look at the replay, you can kind of see. I mean, I think if it did go in, they probably would have looked at that.
Right.
But again, just another moment where you're just like, boys, we truly have to lock in.
Yeah, guys, heads on a swivel. Look for danger, kick the ball out for a throw. Virgil was not pressured. He just walked the ball out. I did not understand it.
No. And I mean, like, look, that was kind of the I don't want to say like that was kind of the pattern of the second half. I mean, like because Crystal Palace, like I said, they had the majority of the chances. They had 6 shots to our 2 of those being one of the Wirtz shot. But it was just again like they had 2 chances, James, that being one of them, the Strand Larson thing, where you're just like, guys, like what's happening? Because and I don't want to blame like basically Isak gets subbed off, Saul gets not sent off, subbed off.
Yep.
And I don't know. I think it's like missing that big body up front that you can just.
Well, I mean, yeah, at that
towards,
point, Wirtz is playing not even
as
false 9, but full 9.
In the 9, yeah.
Right. And, we don't want to be seeing that. We don't want to be seeing that. And
no, I think that's we're done with that experiment.
Although, like you mentioned, it does sort of pay off in the end.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't know if that's the reason why, but I mean,
no, you're right.
Because
but
once
I mean,
you have
him playing higher
up there, he you just feel like you kind of lose all the entire structure of the squad at that point with these subs.
Yeah, the subs were a little confusing overall, I would say.
Yeah, so like that was again another thing. If we talk about Slot potentially staying past this season, I think this is like another indicator of things I'm nervous about is just the subs. And obviously he doesn't have that many options in terms of like, because he subs Isak on for Gravenberch. Like he doesn't have an attacking sub besides.
Well, I mean, he's still got Chiesa. He's also got.
I was going to say.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'll say it. He's also got little Rio.
I was going to say he has Rio, which has always been the sub where like he replaces Rio with Isak and then puts Gakpo
through the middle
as that 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's confusing as to why he didn't do that. I'm not quite sure, but James, we get away with it because possibly my favorite goal of the game.
Not going to take the top spot for me, but it was a beautiful goal.
It was wicked. James, off a long throw in too.
Flow rider.
Believe it. Folks, we're back in the business of stoppage time goals, I think.
I mean, it's starting to look that way. It's really starting to look that way.
Florian Wirtz puts the cherry on top, 3-1. A long throw from Joey Gomez, which is why he's on the pitch. He's got that arm cannon.
He's got a little arm cannon.
Assisted by McAllister, who's getting slightly tugged off by the opposition player.
He's getting full on winked. Yeah.
He beautiful touch just to set up Wirtz on the edge of the box.
Right. He basically just cushions the throw.
Cushions it.
Leaves beautiful it right cushion. There for him. Yep.
And Wirtz, just eyes aglow, catches it. And it just perfectly swerves on the top left corner of the goal, but pretty darn close, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, as far left as it could be. Could be a little higher.
Look, he needed that. It's his 5th goal of the season. We need that guy in and around the box because he can make magic happen, like that moment right there.
Yeah, we need him taking more shots. He's been oddly hesitant to shoot in the past month or so, maybe 2 months even. And you wonder why when you see stuff like this. I mean, the technique, the way he cuts across the ball, gives it that sort of out to in spin as if he shot with his left foot. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was beautiful. I mean, I could watch that goal all day, and I hope to watch it again on Saturday or maybe Sunday. In fact, I'm sure it's Sunday. But you're right. He can create the goal, but he can score the goal, and I want to see him do that a little more often.
I mean, we now have, as I said before, 3 extremely important games coming up, which he can be, easily a man of the match for any of those, and hopefully this just kind of lights a fire under him. But look, like I said, this moves us into 4th. I can't believe I'm saying this after a few months of just, I would say more than a few months of just horrible, turgid football.
Yep. I'm not sure how much better the football is ultimately, if I'm being totally honest.
It's
not. But the W's are starting to stack, like a whopper.
It's kind of one of those things where I'm like, I don't actually, how some people were like, I just want to see the performance, and there's other people that just want to see the results. I don't know where I stand, because right now we're getting results where the performance, I wouldn't say is horrible, but it you see some green shoots. And I think right now the main objective is getting a top half finish, or excuse me, a top Champions League finish.
Yeah, top 5 finish.
And then you kind of just go from there. But yeah, the Fulham game wasn't fantastic. Everton was, a derby, so it was a pretty aggressive.
Yeah, you just sort of take it as it comes.
Exactly. And then this game, 3-1, I think maybe flatters Liverpool a little bit, but I mean, at this point, who cares?
But we could stand to be flattered a little bit. Our confidence is a little shook. We're putting on our best dress and our nice gloves, and we're just looking for someone to say something nice, and that's something that you just said now,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
James, anything else you want to touch on?
In this game? No, I think we it's dead and buried. We really talked it into the ground.
I think so too. And it's interesting because, I really value these one game a weeks now, because you really just got to soak it up. But
you got to just drink a full glass.
Oh, especially with a win, you can watch the game twice over. Feel like you get your fill.
That's right. And it's really nice to rewatch a game when you know exactly what's going to happen.
But great game in all respects. Pretty bittersweet. Salah going off injured. Robertson, like we said, farewell tour. But then you got these beautiful moments. Isak, Wirtz, Munoz getting hit in the head with a ball. We didn't even talk about that.
We didn't talk about that.
That might have actually been my favorite moment. It was very funny because the commentators were very you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
But I was like, I love that so much.
Yeah,
very
and
funny.
also just he gets hit, just the crowd goes to one of the, hey,
yeah,
very good. It was great.
Man, well, should we touch on the United game?
We should touch on it for sure.
Sunday, baby. Old Trafford. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. United are in pretty decent form.
Yeah.
Carrick seems to have really righted that ship and sent it back towards Europe, like you were mentioning before. But, I just think that the way that we've been playing these last few weeks we look like a different team, at least in terms of just like mood. The mood around the club is so much higher than it was a month ago, which, funny what a win can do. But, Isak is starting to boil, Wirtz is starting to boil. Ngamo is going to have to start because Salah can't play. Right. So there's going to be a lot of stuff to get interested in.
That's an interesting take too, because I feel like just having his energy on the pitch from the get-go could actually, provide, because you're playing at Old Trafford, so you need to kind of come out swinging a little bit. But yeah, I think having him on the field could actually be a very interesting wrinkle into this game.
Yeah, I think that's right. And then the other couple of wrinkles that are, starting to get deep into my forehead.
Uh-oh.
Is Jones starting at right back again?
See, Jones is interesting because he's both very infuriating.
Yep.
But then also he does things where I'm like, only he would do that. And it comes off. When it comes off, it's spectacular. And, he'll do like the, kind of the more, harder passes, harder chances when it's happening on the opposition end of the field. I think that's fine, but when he does it around his own box, it's where I kind of start to see my life flashing before my eyes.
Yeah, he likes to get us into trouble.
He's kind of like a Trent Light, where he's able to pick out passes from that position deeper on the right side, where you're like, that's kind of invaluable a little bit. Like if you're able to figure out how to game that area of the pitch. I don't know. I think he had a pretty good game once again.
I did too. Yeah.
I think he's pretty adventurous, and he's a risk taker, which a lot of people are very frustrated by, for good reason at some points. But sometimes I think you need that, and I think against Manchester United, I think you're going to need a person like that, because Frimpong is good, he's fine, but I feel like he's just more of like a speed demon, where I think Jones can do a pretty good job just like scanning that area of the pitch and being able to come up with something.
Yeah, I know. I think that's exactly right. I've seen a couple people love a graph when these are,
chart.
number of progressive passes per 90, and I think like accuracy progressive passes per 90, and it's like Bruno Fernandes and Curtis Jones are the two in the top right. So yeah, he's a very progressive passer, but our best passer was Trent. And obviously he's gone, and we've replaced him with two what I would call ball carriers in Frimpong and Connor Bradley. And so the quality progressive passing just isn't there, and the ball transitioning the ball from defense to midfield into attack is that's something that we've really been lacking, and Jones can bring that.
I mean, he gets the assist for that Robertson goal. Again, that's our right back.
Yeah,
like he's that high up of the pitch, and like in those situations, that's great because he has the ability to place those passes.
So who is United's left winger on the day going to be? Ahmad? I guess it's going to be Ahmad, right?
This is a great question, James. We can look at their last game where they beat Brentford 2-1, and yeah, I believe that would be Ahmad.
Yeah, he's a good player, and so if Jones is back there, it's going to mean a long day for Konate, and also it's going to mean, I think, a lot of discipline from Szoboszlai. Exactly.
He's probably going to be that right side midfielder to cover that, which he's done before, and he's done a good job.
Yeah, and he's got the legs for it, absolutely. So I think if you've got those two players there, then Jones is the right choice, and then you can bring on Frimpong when there's half an hour left, and that's going to terrorize the defense when the fastest man on the pitch is completely fresh.
Tired legs, absolutely.
That's right.
Well, after talking about that, I feel a little bit more confident. Definitely excited, but
I'm excited. It's at 7:30, which is about as early as I want to go. I would prefer 9:30, frankly, but 7:30, I'll be there.
I mean, if we do get away with 3 points, not even get away, if we win, we jump into third. Which again, this is like we were not picturing this months ago, so this is very exciting. So I think all to play for. I think we just can't show up and play
just that limp dick slot ball.
Yeah, I was gonna say lethargic, but more just like tepid and like nervous.
Yeah,
I think we just had to go out, because if we lose, we lose. But if we win, I feel like it's there.
Yeah, I mean, like you're saying, considering where we've been this season, we lost 9 and 12 around November, and to take that and turn it into a third place finish, which is what we would be talking about with the win at Old Trafford, it's pretty massive, and it really does set the stage for, as mixed as I am about it, for Slot staying and getting behind it.
Yeah, I mean, we have an 8-point gap on 6th place, so I think I don't want to drop points, but I mean there's opportunity to. So I think if we play for a point, there's a chance that we can get maybe not torched, but taken for a ride. But if we play aggressive, come out aggressive, then there can be something good at the end of the game for us.
Yeah, and at the very least, if we come out aggressive, I'll have had some things I enjoyed watching. This like you're saying, tepid football that we played. It's just, if there was a moment when I was like, do I want to wake up? This is just ruining my mornings.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just, it's not a nice way to start your weekend. But James, if people want to know, what our weekend routines are, where can they find us?
Then they should definitely listen to the pod, and we could probably do maybe a quiet 5 at the end and just talk like, after you brush your teeth, where you get your coffee. Are you doing a pour over? I'm more of a cold brew guy.
Oh, interesting. Do you prep it the night before?
Well, so I typically will make like maybe not a gallon, but I'll make a big batch and I'll drink it for like 10 days and then prep it again.
How is it on the 10th day? Pretty strong.
Well, I brew it for, so we're getting into it. What I do is 24-hour brew, but then I drain it. Then it's not getting any stronger. It's just like a tub of concentrate. So it's pretty much the same on the 10th day as it is in the first.
And are we doing that black? How are we taking it?
I typically drink them black, but that's not what I was going to get into. I have recently decided that I really like cream tops.
What is
Just
that?
Love cream tops. When you go to a coffee shop, they'll have like tiramisu cream that they'll put on top of your cold brew.
Wow.
And so what I've been doing is not anything that fancy, but just like whipping up coconut cream. So you just got like a nice little bit of foam, a little coconut cream, and you don't even need to add sugar because coconut cream already is pretty sweet.
Oh my gosh!
Although now and then I'll put in a drop or two of walnut liqueur, not liqueur, but like just flavor, right? Like syrup,
right?
Concentrate,
syrup.
like walnuts concentrate.
Got it. Wow, that sounds decadent. I'm a black coffee guy myself. We do a pour over in the morning.
Mm-hmm. So you wake up early.
I mean, you'd think it's like a little bit more, it takes a little bit more time. It really doesn't, it's like probably like 5 minutes total. A 3-minute brew is where you want to kind of aim for.
Are you doing this?
Doing the circular motions.
I'm doing a swirl, sort of like rubbing a genie lamp for those who are not watching us.
You want to pre-wet, your filter. Sometimes I usually just do the vessel itself. So what we have is
do you have a Chemex?
No, we have a Kalita Wave.
Okay, I haven't heard of it, but it sounds nice.
Yeah, it's metal. The Japanese know what's up. James, tell us about the Instagram and the YouTube.
Well, look,
and the other ones.
There is not as much coffee content as you may be looking for on these platforms, but what there is all of the redhead content that you could possibly want. We're making great jokes. We're making great shorts. We're making great posts. And the first place to look, check out the Instagram at Redheads Podcast. We're waiting for you to comment. We're waiting for you to like. We're waiting for you to send that hate mail. Just get involved. Then go to YouTube. We've got the episodes posted there as well. We've also got the shorts, like I was just mentioning. Those are a lot of fun. And they're not very long. So it's just not going to take that much time for you to get into it. So, check those out. Finally, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever other apps you use to get podcasts on. Patreon, not yet, but let us know. We could start charging you for this. Coffee chat seems like it would do well. I thought that we really got into that. That's all at Redheads Podcast, guys. Just get in there.
Just get in there, folks. And I got one thing left to say, James. I think you know what it is.
I've got a pretty good feeling that it's not war.
Oh, baby. It's very much.
Peace.
Redheads. Redheads. Redheads.
So sick.